Welcome to Engagement and Wraparound, everybody. I see lots of familiar faces and some new ones too. Lots of smiles, that's good. Even after all that traffic, we still have the smiles on our faces, right? Well, that's good. Well, it gives me a little bit of hope for today. After all that traffic, we can still have some smiles on our faces. So, all right. So, welcome to Engagement and Wraparound. This is a one-day training where we're going to do a deeper dive into engagement with families and teams. Has anybody here already, I'm assuming everybody here has already started partnering with families? Everybody, right? Have you come across any challenges in engaging families, right? So everybody here is really interested in what we've got to share today and hope that maybe we can kind of get something out of it to take back to our family partnerships. All right. Well, I'm Christine. I see some faces in here that I coach, and I have been here for now over 3 years. It's crazy. I'm now certified. It took 3 years. So maybe not so much of a clap, but I have been in Wraparound now for going on 10 years. So I was a Wraparound facilitator, just like you all. I was a supervisor. I did Access Site back in the day when we did Access Site, and I was SLP coordinator. So I've basically done everything in Wraparound. Now I'm a coach. And so I'm going to actually pass it to Lindsay so she can introduce herself.
Might see if they have a battery for the other one. Hello. Hi, I'm Lindsay. It's nice to see everyone. I'm glad everyone made it here today. I've been a coach for over 6.5 years now. I've been in Wraparound for like 10.5 years. I started partnering with families as a skills trainer on Wraparound teams. I was a facilitator, and then I was a Wraparound supervisor, and now I'm a coach. So it's been a long time that I've been here. So I'm really excited that you're all here today. I'm excited about engagement. So I'm going to be totally transparent. This is not my favorite training, but we're going to make it fun today. There's some really good pieces of information in here, and I want to work really hard between the two of us and all of us to connect this back to the why. Why are we here? Why are we doing this? So I'm going to kind of keep just bringing us back to that as we go through the day. But we've got a lot of activities planned, so I'm really excited about that. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, did you talk about the snacks and stuff?
No, not yet.
So, snacks. There's a snack shop. If you go out to your left and to your right down the hall, you can get drinks and snacks, things like that. We're going to break about every 90 minutes-ish. We're going to play with that a little bit. It won't ever be more than 90 minutes. Restrooms, if you need to use the restroom, please do so. There's some across the hall this way, and if you go out to the left this way. But yeah, well, let's have fun today, and if you have questions, please feel free to ask. And yeah, here we go. Woo!
Pretty evenly distributed too, so I don't even need to move anybody. I'm not going to try. Thank you. Although that would be a great icebreaker, wouldn't it? All right, so we know that engagement with youth, and I feel like I've got to talk like right into this for it to work. So youth and family engagement is particularly somewhat difficult, right, in Wraparound, because these are families that have kind of fallen up the system before they've gotten to us. So we know how completely critical it is to engage not just this family, but their supports in the process. So today we're going to give you lots of really cool tools and tricks to kind of help buffer that practice of yours and getting those teams together. So we talked about how there were some challenges. How about we just kind of talk about that for a second? What have been some challenges from you all in engaging families or team members?
So I've been dealing with a couple kids just not wanting to talk in the meeting or don't want to participate. They kind of have, kind of an attitude or, don't want to be there and stuff, even though they're asked to by the family and by probation or DCS or somebody.
So what have you found has been helpful in engaging kids like that have been told to be there and they don't really want to be there?
I try to come from the point of, okay, you're trying to get rid of me. Let's talk about how you can work your way out of wraparound and, go on about your day so that you don't have to deal with me anymore. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, depending on their mood for the day, but kind of gives them a little more motivation to at least give me 2 or 3 words when they're, at the meeting and stuff. But oh.
Anybody else? A challenge? Introduce yourself too. Sorry.
Oh.
That was Kyle.
Hi, I'm Sabra. I have a 16-year-old that calls it a share circle. And he's like, I don't want to come to this share circle, and very, very vocal about it. But he does attend, and I always tell him, like, thank you for coming. And he's had to walk away before and came back. And I was very excited that he came back because we were at a park, and I literally thought he might walk home, and Mom was like, because he walks a lot anyways. But I just try to keep it lighthearted and also pepper in like things that he likes. He likes to talk about boxing. He's trying to learn how to box, but it's hard because I hate coming to these. He will even be very vocal about it. But I just say, well, I'm happy to see you, and I just want to hear some updates. So I try to keep it light and move through his negativity and focus on some of the successes, even if it's tiny.
Yeah, we got to show them something different, right? And that doesn't happen overnight. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time with engagement. Anybody else? Any challenges? Lisa.
Hi. Hi, I'm Lisa. I think the thing that I'm running into is I have one family that absolutely will not pick any team members. They don't want people from work. They don't want people from their family. They don't want anybody to know about their business. And they especially don't want it in a formal setting. So they're just resistant to any and all people.
Say, and especially in a formal setting?
They don't want them. They're okay to pick up the phone and call them on their terms, but they don't want them to know all their business. They don't want them engaged in making change. They don't want to let people.
Have you found that a family like that, and then something that was like that specific?
No, because I'm too new. They're one of my first families.
Who has had a similar situation than Lisa just shared?
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Well, so what I'm hearing is they're being protective.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're being protective, right? So I'm excited to jump into our content so we can hopefully help shift what that looks like, right? We've no, you're fine. No, but I've been there. Christine has been there. We've been facilitators. We've been advisors, and I 100% have had experiences like that, and it is so hard. And so I feel that. So I'm excited, hopefully, to be able to give you all some ideas today to maybe shift what that looks like. So,
And keep your ears open too, because I think your colleagues here are going to have some really cool ideas too, right? Okay, so I am going to tell you. Let's see here. You guys are group 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. We have a lot back there. 7, and then no, it's okay. We're fine, I guess. So you see the Post-its around the room. You know your group numbers now, right?
yeah, there's just going to be one. So,
Let them be one.
yeah.
That makes
1,
sense.
5, 2, 4.
So you don't have to like scrap. Oh, now they're confused. Okay, you're group 1. That's going to be your Post-it. You are group 5. We've had 3 different numbers. Now you're group 5. Now we're group 5. Gotcha. Because your post is close to. You guys, group 2. And I guess you guys are 4. Where's 3? Back there. Okay. I don't know how I get confused on numbers so bad, but I do. All right. So your groups are going to go ahead and get your groups up and go over to your Post-it. What I want you to do is I want you to get your marker ready because we're going to time this. We're going to make this a little bit of fun. We're going to start with a little bit of a game. Yeah, please. Lindsay will be our stopwatch. So everybody knows where their post-it is. All right. So how many seconds here? What are we going to give them? We're going to give you 60 seconds. Do you got your markers ready? All right. This is a group activity, so you guys help the scribe out, okay? 60 seconds. Write down as many of the 10 principles as you can. And no cheating. I'm looking if anybody's Googling. All right, go. No looking at your phone. Put that phone away, cheater. Cheater. I want to keep an eye on her, too.
Have 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Stop. Put markers, lids on the markers. All right, count how many you have. Okay, how many does team 1 have? 7. Team 5? 7. Team 2? Team 4? 8. Oh, I think we have a winner chicken dinner. Hold on, what do we got here? Yeah, that's what let's see. What do we got?
Team-based, family voice and choice, strength-based, culturally competent, collaboration, individualized, trauma-informed, and outcome-based.
Trauma-informed. I mean, wait, I think we have a 3-way tie then, maybe. We have 777. Yeah. Yeah. So all the teams, all of them got 7, except 5. Sorry, but you were cheating. Okay, go back to your tables. So let's pull up the principles. You guys did great, though. 7 out of 10 is not bad. All right, so we have family voice and choice. Yeah. Okay. So individualized, strength-based, natural supports, collaboration, unconditional care, community-based, culturally competent, team-based, and outcome-based. So out of these 10, which one do you think is the hardest? Everybody forgot natural supports. Right? Yeah, every single one of them. All the teams forgot natural supports.
Well, it's a good thing you're in engagement then.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm guessing natural supports are the most difficult. It's what? Okay, so that's one of the key elements is driven by underlying needs, yeah. Okay. All right. So what are you bumping into with natural supports for engagement? They're missing the page? Okay. Well, the participant manual is wonky. It's okay. Maybe we can get you a fresh with that sheet in it. Yeah, just write it. Yeah, try to write them down because you will be using those.
I have one thing, like in the beginning, a lot of my families don't have healthy supports, like that are unpaid, like we can get the healthy paid supports, but, so that's like a struggle I'm running to in the beginning, is helping them find supports.
Helping them find
Healthy support, yeah.
Okay. So what do you mean by healthy supports?
Like maybe they've got somebody, but they're not really helping them, and they're not, or they might be contributing to bad patterns that we're trying to break,
Right.
things like that.
Does anybody have any thoughts about that? So.
Oh, yes. Oh, gosh, what did I, well, just that the families I'm running into, like, sometimes in the beginning, they're kind of, I want to say almost isolating, like they're trying to cut off these unhealthy relationships, so then they don't have any supports, like, and so we've just got a bunch of paid supports. So that's something I'm running into.
Does anybody have any?
I think my biggest thing I've noticed is that people are just very like, I don't want to say like, but they're very protective. They're very like, they don't want everybody in their business. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of almost like a shame, almost like they just don't want people to know what's like really going on. I think that's kind of what I've noticed with some of my families.
Yeah, I think that we're going to explore some things today that kind of help take that shame out of the equation for engagement. And I think that that's going to be really helpful for that. So, moving to the next slide, we tend to have 3 primary approaches to engage people. You see that. We have the cheerleader. This is someone who is agreeing, approving, or praising. We have the logic model. So they're persuading with logic, more rational. And then we have the muscle. That's the ordering, directing, commanding, right? I think of like probation when I think of that. So, which are you? Well, in your groups, remember, the burden of engagement is on us as the RAP facilitator, right? So the really important thing is to understand is
Okay. Did any of those surprise you as being barriers to listening? Are there any surprises in the room? Yeah, what were they? Okay. Questioning? Anything else? That was a surprise that it might be a barrier? Interpreting? Okay. Yeah?
I thought the reassuring and sympathizing was a little surprising.
Yeah. Okay. Why were these surprising to you?
Because we interpret and analyze what's said in the meetings, and we're supposed to figure out what their underlying needs are based on what they're saying and what they're not saying.
Yeah. Okay. What else?
To me, they all just kind of seem like natural responses to listening.
Yeah. Yeah, they do, kind of. Yeah. Okay.
I'd say
3?
3.
Oh, giving advice? Yeah.
It's hard for me not to want to offer suggestions or to be the fixer.
Yeah.
So that's hard for me right now.
Mhm.
Like saying like I'm the fixer, I'm not gonna, like I have to stop myself every session. They're like, no, Robin, you're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So that's hard for me because I did that for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's a whole new mindset for me.
Okay. I understand. I get that. I get that. Anything else when you think about those barriers? Yeah, Greg?
Just looking at the barriers, I can see where I may have touched on maybe some of these.
Mm-hmm.
But I think having a balance of not using too much
Mm-hmm.
of one, is just knowing when to engage and when to back off. I'm finding that's an art.
Yeah, that you said that very well. I think it is an art. It's a little bit of a dance, right? And so I think it's, being able to navigate these barriers in our conversations, because sometimes we do these things, right? We give advice, we agree, and we praise and approve, and we want people to feel good, right? That's why we're here. We want to give advice. We want to help them be successful. We want those things, right? And so it is kind of surprising. I mean, even when I look at this list, sometimes I'm like, oh, that's surprising. Oh, I need to turn my volume down. We think about reassuring and sympathizing as well, being a barrier. We want to make sure we don't create a power differential as well, right? We don't promise, right, or offer advice outside of the team, because that's planning. We've talked about that in intro. We don't want to plan outside of our team. And so that's really important. And so facilitation it's a difficult job. There's a lot of moving pieces and a lot to learn. I still learn stuff, and I've been doing this for a very long time. Okay? So when we think about, we want to make sure that we're able to keep conversations moving. We want to make sure that the people we're talking with feel heard. And so not only do we have to be savvy in the way that we speak, but we have to be savvy in the way that we listen. Okay? And so I want us, so I just want us to think a little bit about that when we're partnering with families, but also with natural supports, is that we want to make sure that we don't come off as we're going to fix everything for you, right? Because that's not what we're going to do. We hope, right? We hope that we're able to plan with them and build a team with them and help them be successful, but we don't want to overpromise, okay? So it is a little bit of a dance, and I'm hoping today, as we walk through the different activities that we have, we'll be able to navigate through some of this and help you feel a little bit more comfortable with those conversations. And that's really what this is all about, is getting comfortable with those conversations that we're having with families, with youth, with those natural supports, because those conversations all probably will look a little different, okay? All right. All right, so we all have different ways that we engage, right? We all have our own personalities, our own lived experiences. We all are just different, unique, cool people who are going to engage in different ways, and that's totally awesome. I want you to kind of hone in on that. When you think about having conversations with people, also just remember that I tend to be someone who's very enthusiastic, very upbeat, the cheerleader type. I had to learn how to manage that with some people, right? Because it's not always received the same, So think about that as we think about engaging. We're going to engage our youth. We're going to have conversations with our youth. Some youth are going to be like, yeah, let's talk about it all. Some youth are going to be like, I don't like you. I really don't want to talk to you, right? Same thing with parents, okay? Caregivers. Those people, we have to remember they have lived experiences that are going to shape what that looks like for them, as well as those natural supports. And again, it is a little bit of a dance, okay? And it takes some time to just learn how to kind of vibe and groove with what that feels like, okay? So as we're thinking about the ways that we might engage people, I want you to think about why we're engaging people to begin with. Why do we do this? Okay, so maybe to help them reach their family vision. Yeah. Why might have they created an entire training on engagement? Do you think people struggle with it? Oh, yes. Yes. We can. Okay. So as we think about the conversations that we're having, what comes to mind? When we think about the conversations we're having with families in Wraparound? There are some very vulnerable. Did everybody hear that? Yeah? Okay. That's awesome. Yes. Absolutely. There's some really just tough stuff that we're going to be talking about, right? And allowing families to be protective. We talked a little bit about that. They probably, a lot of them will be very protective because there is just some hard stuff that has happened in their lives. And so taking that into consideration as we think about that engagement piece as well, okay? Are we being graceful in the way that we use our words? Okay? Are we being transparent in the way that we use our words? Okay? So it is a lot. There's a lot that goes on when we think about being a facilitator and being able to have those hard conversations with youth, have those hard conversations with families, but then turning around and saying, we really want someone on your team to be a part of this. Okay? And so how are we going to navigate what that looks like? Because, like you said, we need their buy-in. We have to have natural supports on our teams, or we're not doing wraparound. And so it takes even a little bit of savvy speaking ability to be able to grasp their attention, to get their buy-in, to get the people to the table. Okay? So as we're thinking about all of the ways that we're going to engage, I have a little activity that we're going to do. And so there should be, if there's not enough papers on the table, you should have like strips of paper on your table. So everyone take a strip of paper for me. And if you don't have enough, let me know. We may not. You want? Okay, there's one. Oops, sorry. Uh-huh. Is everyone else good? Oh, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Okay. I think everybody has one. All right. Okay. So on your strip of paper, I want you to, this is an individual thing, write down something that you really struggle with. Hot button issue when it comes to this work, right? So maybe it's caregivers who use substances. Maybe it's domestic violence. Maybe it's one of our coaches, when she started this work, her hot button issue was people who use their tax money on TVs and things instead of maybe care for their children, other things like shopping for themselves. So think about what is it that it's like, ooh, that just rubs me the wrong way. It just doesn't feel great in this work. Take a minute and write that down. I see a couple people still writing. Go ahead and finish that up. Oops. And as you finish that up, go ahead and fold that paper up and put it in your pocket. Put it into your pocket. Put it in your pocket. And what I need you all to do is stand up. I need you to find someone you do not know. Let's be honest here, folks, okay? Find someone you do not know. We all need a partner. And are we even here? 32? Oh, good, okay. All right. Are we even? Does everyone have a partner? Okay, awesome. So I need one of you from each partnership to go out in the hall. You decide. I don't care who goes. But you're going to go with Christine. We're both lots of fun, so it'll be whatever group you're in is going to be great. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just getting hooked up every day was.
Okay. So I'm not going to use this because I don't want them to hear what I'm saying. All right, so find your partner and get comfy. Find a place to sit. All right, go ahead and wrap up your conversations. You have like about a minute. No, 13 seconds, but that's what I know. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna keep them just in where they are right now, and then we'll go to break. Oh shit! My tag got caught. All right. So let's come together. You all can stay where you're sitting now. So we'll wrap up our conversations, and I just want to talk about the exercise with you all. So a little debrief here. So what did it feel like for those of you who were asked to go out in the hallway? What was that feeling like?
It was a little uncertain as to like why, but
Okay.
it's like okay.
Okay, a little uncertain. Okay, a little uncertain. Anyone else? Oh, nice to get up and move around. Okay, good. I like that. I like that. What about for those of you who stayed in the room? What are they scheming? Yeah, okay. Anything else? Validation of parking. What were you going to say?
Just that you didn't, I didn't know their expectations of what I was doing.
Okay, so unsure of expectations, not really sure. Okay, a little uneasy, a little like what's going on. Okay, so how did it feel to be the interviewer? For those of you who stayed in the room, you were the interviewer. How did that feel? No type of way? Okay, you're okay with it? Okay, well, that's awesome. That's good. Yeah, I love that. No, I think that's awesome. Yeah, I love that. I think that is awesome. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yes. Yes, so you probably were just like, okay, let's do this. Okay. Anyone else who was the interviewer? Feelings of anything? Yeah, Greg?
Well, I started to fall into an old pattern of trying to copy everything Sarah was saying, and then the information was so, and then I said, you just gotta stop it.
Oh.
This was a little master class here. Thank you. I mean, and so just
Okay.
put it aside and focus, and I got way well.
Yeah, okay, I love that. So you really kind of started to fall into that role of an active listener. Oh, okay. Anyone else with the interviewer do that? Do you find yourself when you're interviewing or engaging people, families, getting information, you're just like write, like pages and pages, and you just like flip and write?
First time I got into it, and now it's just like in a point that I write down a little bit, and then I just sit there and just listen.
Okay. I was like that too in the beginning. I was definitely the one who had pages and pages and books of notes and had no idea what to do with them. And then I did finally to like, okay, I just need to sit here and listen a little bit.
Comes back like, oh yeah, she mentioned this or he mentioned this, and you're like, oh yeah, I can put this in and all that.
Yeah, I think it's a learned skill for sure. You start to kind of pick up on some of those things that you know you want to hear. Okay, so how did it feel being interviewed? What was it like? I'm sorry?
It felt very natural.
Oh, it felt
It was a conversation.
awesome. I love that.
It's me. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Is this thing working? Yes, it's working. Okay, so now that we've all enjoyed a little mini therapy session and we're all more self-aware, maybe a little bit more self-aware than we were hoping to be today, let's go ahead and think about, so the characteristics of engagement and wraparound, right? So we know that if we can actually understand our own stuff, our own personal style of communicating, and being aware when your go-to is not working, then you can be deliberate with your listening and truly hear what the other person is saying, right? So let's think about some characteristics of engagement wraparound specifically. So the relationship between families and professional is viewed as a partnership. It kind of goes into language a little bit, but do we call our families clients or patients? Why? Why are they partnerships? Huh? We're equal. We're on equal ground. We're locking arms and walking with them, right? Yeah, we don't want to come off as the professional, as the expert. They're the experts. We're the expert on the process and guiding the process, but they're the experts on their story, right? So do you think it's going to help engagement? Do you think it helps engagement? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So interactions with families are open, transparent, and non-judgmental, and grounded in a strength-based perspective. Have you come in and had a team member that was kind of blaming and shaming a family? Do you see the engagement and how impactful that is on the engagement with that family, with that individual? Yeah. It's the more of the same. Remember, these families have fallen up a broken system. It's more of the same that they've already experienced. That's one of the impactful ways of engagement, is that we're different than all of them, right? We're not just love bombing you, right? We're here because we're different, and we can actually show you a different way. Okay, so family resources and kinship connections are identified and maximized. What is that talking about? Family resources and kinship connections. What are we talking about?
Anyone in the community, like supports, whether it could be sports team the kid's on, it could be church, it could be a neighbor, it could be great grandma, uncle.
Natural supports.
Yeah.
Yeah, natural supports. Because they've been doing it on their own, right? So it's an engagement way that we're engaging with this family by bringing in supports. Maybe they've already had these supports. Maybe we had to kind of brainstorm around some additional supports. But we're giving a sense of relief. Imagine how that might feel for a family who's kind of been following up the system, and they've been told up until now what to do, when to do, how to do it. And they're doing it wrong. So now, in walks Lisa, and she's this new RAP facilitator, and she's going to start talking to them like they're humans and not just a client. They're a person. So remember that. If you hear client, if you hear patient, if you hear a family and wraparound being talked about in a way that is blameful or shameful, each and every one of you, it's your job to step up and say something and bring it. I presume like who they do and do not want on the team, right? So like the example of uncle is a good example, because what if there was somebody that was abusive to the child previously, but that person is relevant and still a part of their lives? Is it up to us as the facilitator to exclude them from the team? No, it's up to... Thank you. Amen. It's up to the parents. It's up to the parents. That's family voice and choice, right? Yeah. So we never want to come in and just make assumptions. Anybody else? Any other impressions? That's good.
That situation you're talking about is actually a situation I'm dealing with one of my youth. where they live in the home with the one that was potentially the one that did the abuse because of financial situations right now. So that's a situation that I'm currently dealing with as to how to navigate that. And I'm having to let the mom kind of help guide what she wants with that person right now.
Is it better for the child to possibly have that person pulled in and part of planning than not?
Right now, for the child, that person's kind of a trigger. So for right now, it's better that we keep them out of it.
And that's been a team process and discussing that? Good.
That's kind of been, right now, everybody's kind of agreed that that's kind of not a good thing right now. So for now, it's kind of best to keep that out, as well as that person doesn't want to be a part of the team right now either.
Right.
So that person kind of doesn't want to be a
It puts a little twist on things when that
Yeah.
when the youth is actively living with that individual, though. That puts a big twist on things. So, okay, well, as far as engagement goes, were there any additional impressions
or questions.
or questions?
Partnerships and our relationships. Okay. What? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it just naturally makes you want to dig deeper.
Yeah.
You're just going deeper naturally. Then you're going to find the needs. It's easier to find the needs
Yeah.
deeper like that.
Naturally digging deeper. When people start to feel comfortable with you, what happens? They will share with you. You start to build an understanding, right? Because remember how we've talked about families have been in the system. A lot of our families have not experienced wraparound or care that is like wraparound. And so it's so important that we come from a place of understanding as we have conversations with people and just make them feel like people, because that's what they are. Yeah.
I think the room, I mean, as everyone was like, ooh, to their question, you know, what does safety mean to you? So I think it just makes the person feel like, wow, you understand my story, and like, oh, good question, because you have taken it to a place and you really put some thought into this instead of maybe just, the yes or no questions. But
Yeah.
even us as a group, we're like, ooh,
Yeah.
that was a good one.
Yeah, I like that, right? Yeah, go ahead.
I would disagree with that.
Okay.
Looking at those questions, me personally,
Mhm.
I'd rather answer the ones on the left.
Okay. Why?
One, I think the ones on the right are too leading,
Okay.
and it doesn't let me express what I want to say.
Okay. So, with that perspective, which I'm glad you shared, what does that mean to you as a facilitator? Because now we have someone in our group who feels a little bit different. So, what do you think that means to your role as a facilitator? We might need to shift, right? We might need to pivot. Because, yes, our open questions are a more broad question, right? They might get us some more information. However, we might come in contact with people or meet people that communicate in different ways, right? And we talked about that earlier. It's a little bit of a dance, right? We might have to.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Everybody is back from lunch, I think. We're not missing anybody, are we? Kyle's sitting back there, so we're good. Okay. All right. So,
Really talk with them anymore? Okay. Okay, so these are all, again, just guesses on what they might say. Well, what I want to think about is how, when we're asking questions, how we're able to maybe then reflect back on what families might say in relation to those, and how we can reflect and give some of those simple or complex reflections depending on their responses. Okay? So what I want you to do is I think it's 12 or 14, you guys should have some blank space in your participant manual. So go ahead and use that space, and I want you to come up with 2 reflective statements for the open questions that you came up with earlier. So you should all have those 2 open questions that you came up with for the Turner family. So individually go ahead, and I want you to make reflective statements based off of those open questions. Okay, so how could you shift those to be reflections? And you,
Do a reflection based off of how they might
yeah, yeah. Right, did I say that right? I think so. A reflection based off of how they would answer their question. Yes, okay. Three. We'll have one group of 4, I think, in this group right here. So if you guys just want to pair off into group 3, that'd be great. Go ahead and decide who's going to be your speaker, your listener, and your observer. You have 15 minutes. Yeah, one group of 4. However you guys want to pair off. Perfect. You guys. So okay. So kind of a little bit of what you said too. Like my brain's kind of on to that next. What am I going to say? So I think one point that I would like to make too is because I can relate to that also. Just when I'm having conversations with people, I do feel like, you know, when I was a facilitator, I kind of was always like, okay, I need to get this, I need to get this. Giving ourselves time to slow down. I think reflections are really good for that. I think we do have to be a little creative sometimes how we are saying them and where we're putting them into our conversation, because I have had the experience where, you know, you reflect and it's like, I just said that. They're like, okay. You know what I mean though? We've been in that where it's like, so it does. I mean, you have to get a little creative. I do think there are places for them. We've talked a lot about reflections. We've talked a lot about questions and where they can be helpful in our conversation. So why do you think we worked on our questions earlier? We've worked on reflections now. Why would we be having you do this in engagement training?
Because you can't engage with everybody in the exact same way. There's not a formula.
I'm sorry, could you say that in the mic?
Because there's not really a formula to engage with everybody the same way. You have to individualize it.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. Why else?
I think both are important because you need a balance.
All right, so go ahead and come back. We're going to get ready and get started. Go ahead and get started so that we can wrap up. I'm going to turn this so that we can actually see what we're doing. I can't actually even see it. Oops. Okay. Oh, crap. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So, obviously we're talking about all of this conversational engagement type of stuff. And we have a phase in Wraparound that is for engagement. We have our face-to-face meeting with families. This is not our first team meeting. This is our first face-to-face where we're gathering information. So I want us to walk through the information that we need to gather from families at that first face-to-face. So let's make a list. So let's get specific here, as Jess scribes for us. What was that? Reason for referral. Okay, so at this point we've got that reason for referral, and have contacted the family, and we're go out to the family with some of that information. So we might double check on some of that information for the reason for referral, for sure, just to make sure that's correct. But what else are we getting? What do we need to have before we get to that first team meeting? Okay, ROI. What do we have to have in relation to the process of wraparound? So yes, ROI is right. That's just part of the work that we do. Yes, so we're listening for natural supports. I heard family story. Okay, so there we go. So within that family story, yes, initial conditions. Okay, potential team members. What else are we putting in that family story? Yeah, strengths, but you were going to say part of the initial conditions, yeah? So we have a reason for referral, first system contact, and the first time they notice behaviors. Okay, we have strengths. What else? Okay, so underlying needs. So we're going to be listening for those thoughts and feelings to help us develop underlying needs, yes. Family traditions and cultures, that's going to go into our story, yes. Okay. What else do we have on our care plan that the family develops? Okay, well, we do need crisis and safety. But there's one. What was that? Yes, thanks, Lee. Our family vision. Okay, let's see. Did we capture everything? I think we did. Okay. So, before we go into our next activity, I want us to think about why we are doing this. Why we're helping and give you information on ways to have conversations. Because what is it hopefully going to help us do? Hopefully, right? Hopefully it's going to help us be able to have relevant conversations. Yeah, but yeah, I knew where you're going, yeah. Relevant conversations where we can capture this information for each family that we can put in their story and that we can plan with. Okay? So, I think I wrote down the right page, 24. All my pages are off. I don't understand. Okay, so we're going to go to page 24. This is a reflection and a query exercise. Okay? So I need you to reflect on this statement, and we can do the first one together if you all want. Okay? And then we're going to query. So, our first statement is, I can't keep living here with my brother, but I can't afford to live on my own. So I might reflect and say, sounds like you're in a tough position. Right? Then I might query and say, who has been helping you through this tough time? What is that question going to get me on this list? Possibly. Okay. Okay. So that's what we're doing here. So what I want you to do is go ahead and do number 1, but come up with something different. Your questions should help you get information around one of these things, whatever you want it to be. There's so many opportunity within this exercise, okay? So about 5 minutes to do that. I'm getting my spark back. Okay. Just what's on the page. I'm sorry? I'm willing to try anything, but he has to change. Turner. It could be the Turner family, yeah. Okay, alrighty. So number 1, I can't keep living here with my brother, but I can't afford to live on my own. What was the reflection? Sounds like, yes, that's what I said. But what did you say? What was something different? Sounds like you want to move. Okay, and then what was your theory around that? Have you looked into different affordable housing? What were you trying to get to with that question?
To maybe see that there might be some options that, are income-based, sliding scale, just something that there might be some help out there to help her get rent.
Okay. Does any of that relate back to our list up there?
As far as,
I know, I can't hardly see it either. Potential team members, initial conditions, his strengths, thoughts and feelings. Because I think what you have is, okay, possibly. I could see how that can connect, absolutely. Yeah, so we're looking, no, that's fine, thank you. Yeah, so I see how you're trying to get to some functional strengths there. Okay. Number 2, I know Alex hates being in a stranger's home, and I'm sure he blames me for being there. What was the reflection? Yeah.
It sounds like you may feel bad, but you're safe.
Sounds like you may feel bad, but safe. And then what was your question? What were you trying to get to on our face list?
My question is, what do you think needs to happen for Alex to feel safe?
What do you think needs to happen for Alex to feel safe? Okay.
I was trying to get to the, maybe the stabilization plan or even the family, like what the goal is. I could even see some thoughts of yours.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. And number 3, I'm willing to try anything, but he has to change too. Reflection. Kyle? You want to make sure your efforts don't go to waste, okay? And then what was your question and what were you trying to get to with it?
What are ways you support him and the family now?
What are ways you support him and the family now, okay? And what were you trying to get to?
To either functional strengths or positive feelings.
Yeah, cool. Love it. Thank you. I know, so many cool turtles in there.
Empowering reflection.
Yeah. Empowering reflection. Okay, how did that feel? It felt better? It does, right? So hopefully pieces are starting to connect, okay? I want you to hopefully make the connection here that we're not just questioning to question, right? We're not just reflecting to reflect. There's a point. We have things we have to get. We have 30 days. We have to have urgency with our families, okay? And so we want to make sure that our reflections are relevant, but then our follow-up questions are getting us something that we need, so that we don't pull Scott and have 50 pages of notes that we can't use. Sad. And my hand cramped. Okay. So you did really well with that. So I say let's move on to team members. Okay. So we're going to make a list. This is going to scribe for us. So we have to build relationships with team members as well, right? Yes. Okay. We do. I'm glad we all know that. So remember, we're not doing wraparound without our natural supports. We're not doing wraparound without our team members present. So just as we are having that urgency with our families and our youth, we need to have that same urgency when it comes to pulling in team members. That's why we need to get the buy-in from families, okay? So let's think about, because families just don't have time for us to get it right, okay? We want to make sure we know that our families are high crisis situations, and so that we have that urgency here. So what are some things, think about making this list, that we would need to get from our team members, from these natural supports, people that potentially are going to be on our team? Oops. Oh my goodness. Oops. She should be. Oh, yes, I can. Do what, Kyle? No, it's just Christina and I. Yep. Mm-hmm. So,
And I went into my settings and I already,
okay, so let's,
conference thing.
yeah. Can you go back to your camera for me? Let's see. Do you mind if I hold your phone?
No, go ahead.
Oh, it's like pop-up blocked.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Julie.
Julie, I will email it to you.
Okay.
You should be able to do it that way. Right, Jess? We can do that, can't we? Email it?
Yeah, so I'm just having them email their coach and they'll send you a link.
Oh, it's not working? Okay. Because hers is like pop-up blocked. It's not allowing it to come up.
Yeah, and Safari usually doesn't work very well either, so if you don't have Chrome on your phone, then it gets tough. So, email your coach. We have an actual
Yes.
link that you can do from a browser, but you guys need to do it by tomorrow.
Julie, who is your coach?
Christine has a hyphenated.
What organization are you with? What organization are you with? IPMG. So Amber Dirk is your coach. So if you email your supervisor and Amber, and I would do that now if you can, or this afternoon, they'll be able to send you a link for it.
Amber Dirt.
Mm-hmm.